Okay, so anyways, I hope everyone welcomes themselves back to the Black Mind Podcast. I hope you're sitting in a chair, because we're all going to get right up and dirty in this bitch. Let me tell you, we're going to talk about a great movie.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk about Halloween 3. Let me tell you how great Halloween 3 is. It is so great. It is so spooky. It is spooktacular Halloween-ishness.
Do you even know what the hell goes on in the plot in that movie, or are you just adding more adjectives to Halloween?
I'm adding more Halloween adjectives to Halloween, but yes, I know what happens in that movie, even though I've never watched it. I just read the IMDb synopsis.
Yeah.
And it sounds fucking terrible.
Yeah, it's funny. I think, what was it? The series Halloween 1 was about Michael Myers, then Halloween 2
was about Michael Myers. The original plan for Halloween as a franchise was every single movie was going to be different.
Yeah, like it's going to be,
and then
never happened because people are like, "Where's Michael Myers?" Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh god damn it!
I don't know where you like. I don't know where you like Michael Myers so much, but he's a dick.
Well, it's just Jason Voorhees, but freaking wearing a goddamn Sean Connery mask.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, just like, man, he's like the most blatant ripoff of Jason ever. It's just a fucking another dude.
Pretty much.
And another thing is, what made him real threatening is that he will just randomly murder people. What's anything different than modern day, where people just get randomly murdered all the time? He's not that threatening anymore.
I mean, Jason Voorhees as a character is far more scary to me.
Because, he's just a big, tall, threatening guy that takes a lot to take down.
Right?
Yeah. But the thing with Michael Myers is, like, if you get the jump on him, you kill him. You kill him bad.
Right? That's the thing is I just think that, like, they tried a lot with, like, Jason or Michael Myers, and they tried to differentiate the two, and then they just failed. It was, like, sad.
Yeah. Because I know I watched the, what was it, the Halloween 4 review by the Red Letter Media, because that's where I get all my reviews from nowadays.
That's what I did, too. I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah. I mean, these guys like movies, and they kind of know what they're talking about. And
I mean, they did the best review for Ghostbusters 2016, a movie that nobody should ever see in their fucking life, just because of how fucking polarizing they made it.
It's a funny thing is that they pointed out a bunch of shit in that. Well, for the Ghostbusters movie, they point out a bunch of shit of like, did Sony just make a big deal about feminism just so they could sell this movie? It's like Sony went to lengths to sell a shitty movie, like to lengths. Like, wow. Like they'll probably still crack on the corner if it would sell a movie. Like, Jesus.
Well, here's the thing about Ghostbusters movies. The one of the cast members recently made a post about why are people afraid of women just this week, and they used the image of Ghostbusters. It's just like, oh.
You want to know the reason why men are afraid of? Want to know the reason why people are afraid of women? I encourage you to look at any outrage that has happened recently. such as certain events that have happened in your country that have maybe established the fact that if we do anything, we immediately get shot in the face. Yeah, it's this is the reason why, like, and I'm going to sit here and say this and stuff like that, this is a reason why I think that, like, you know, we have to start treating people like people, not like we can't continue doing this thing where we're looking at each other and going, this person's different. It's like, no, that doesn't solve the problem. Doesn't. Anyways, I watched Starship Troopers this week. And so basically Starship Troopers, if you haven't seen it, is basically the movie that is, the way that I will sit here and say that is it feels like a movie where they try to make it very fascist oriented, but it seems like the writer itself is actively rebelling against what they wanted to do. And the writer actually read the book. There's a few things I don't like about the movie, and there's a few things I do like about the movie. I don't like how they kill all of the good characters, like the sergeant of the Roughnecks, the woman, the black lead, who literally just gets like stabbed and then killed. I don't like how they straight up like kill Dizzy. Like I would have. I understand why they did it, but it's like
throw the book at you now because legit Dizzy. Like
I should read this.
You want to know what happens to Dizzy in the book?
What happens to Dizzy in the book?
He dies.
And
Yes, because Dizzy is his nickname.
Oh.
Just like how Johnny is Johnny's is Johnny's nickname. His actual name is Juan Rico because he's from Brazil. Okay. And you want to know what chapter Dizzy dies in?
First chapter?
Prologue.
So the first chapter of the fucking book.
It's not even the first chapter. It's not even the first chapter. It's an interjection.
Yeah. So basically, I don't like. The one thing I do wish that they did more is I watched some like Trader of Mars things, and goddamn, they should have put power armor. But I understand why they didn't. But I'm still mad and I'm hurt and I'm emotionally sad. And I would have liked it.
What's his name?
I would have liked.
It doesn't actually really understand the entire thing. As again, when Sargon of God breaks down like the politics and stuff like that of what Starship Troopers is all about, he does point out the fact that Van Hoven doesn't understand what the kind of militarism is, and the difference between the difference between fascism and stuff like that. Because, like, again, while I'm watching this movie, it's like even as a kid, I never thought it was a fascist thing. Because I grew up in a military household, and I kind of like looked and I'm like, no, that would actually be like, that's just boot camp. And then like they go to war, that's just the military going to war. That's just the infantry going to war. Although as a kid, I also wonder, like, where are the tanks? Where is the engineers? Where are the combat? Like, where's the artillery corps and stuff like that? But then, when I read the book like 2 years ago, I finally found out. It's like, no, they're supposed to be power armored motherfuckers, like Space Marines. They're supposed to be space.
They're supposed to be Spartans without all of the genetic augmentation, and they're supposed to be Space Marines without all of the genetic augmentation.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And even so, like, when you watch the movie, I never once got the idea of fascism because because even back when I was a kid, when I watched it, when I was like 14. I was a big military history buff, so like I knew that there's no conscription in the Federation. It's very evident from the start because of how long the training takes. Everything you have to swear an oath to get into the military to go through your service. It's not like you're 18 now, boy. Come with us to a world of pain and misery. And again, and even in the novel, like it's even funnier because Johnny's dad enlists in the novel because he lives the attacking on Buenos Aires.
Yeah,
or is it Vancouver? I can't remember which like city that. But he survived. He wasn't in town when it happened, and Johnny's going off to go to officer training at one of the military installations where like his unit's getting re-upped. Like they're getting like recruits are being shuffled into their ranks because they've taken casualties. And he's on his way out and sees his dad and they hug, they kiss, and he's like, "What unit are you going into?" "Well, I'm going into Razak's Roughnecks." And he's like, "Oh, well, that was my unit." Like, "Was?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm going for officers." Like, "Oh, wow, I'm so proud." It's like, "How long?" Like, "I'm surprised to see you here." Like, "How? Like, what happened?" They explain the re-up and stuff like that. It's just like it's such a good little like scene too, because it's like there's a comment is like, and if the clerk at the desk had never seen two men kiss before, I didn't give a fucking damn because it was my dad and I'm gonna kiss him because he's just like full on like they kissed each other full face like, oh my god. And I'm like, wow, that's actually like really cool. And like they even point out like I like the oath, and the thing is like I've read the oath multiple times because I really like the oath, because again it's not being sworn. Again, how it's different from fascism is fascism you swear an oath to the country, the government, the people, the leader, or whatever. But again, with this one, it's a lot like the American oath to the military, which is I swear to uphold the Constitution and be prepared to fight enemies both foreign and domestic. It's that kind of oath, and it's not something that it's like. Again, how is that fascist? The propaganda reels. The propaganda reels are supposed to be like, well, this is kind of like fascist propaganda. It's like how they're literally showing you what happens on Clendathu as it happens, and they straight up admit, no, we fucked up, and the guy who fucked up steps down. So. Where's fascism? Question mark? I don't know.
That's a good point. Like, I liked the movie. I actually think the movie's pretty good.
If you are going to watch the next movies, just skip to Starship Troopers 3 Marauder, because Starship 2 Hero of the Federation is supposed to be like a horror film.
Oh yeah,
and it's just it's fucking terrible. Like. If I had to give it a rating, I would say it's like a 3 out of 10. It has some cool scenes in it. It has some cool concepts of like, oh, hey, this is the brain control bugs and like how they get spies and stuff like that. I'm like, that's a cool concept. It's just too bad it's tied to a really shitty.
You know, I have to say my point of view of Starship Troopers is one, oh fuck, these people die real hard, oh this sucks, and then titties, and that's about it. It's just I just remember I just go, oh fuck, these people die so hard, oh there's boobs, oh wow, look at those boobs, and look at those titties, oh boy, look at the boobs, oh wait, people dying, shit, look at them die, and oh titties. Or actually, I love some of the campiness in that movie too. Of like, oh, everyone's getting their fun stuff from these boxes, and one guy just picks up the violin and starts playing it like he knows how to play it. It's like, hold on, was that yours? Was that your box? Was that your violin? Like, what the fuck?
Actually, the way it's worded, and I love the scene because I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is the fact that was supposed to be a supply drop to the regiment, like that Rico's Razak's Roughnecks before like their big deployment on Turkey and stuff like that. They're supposed to like this is their downtime, so like the Federation said, send them some stuff, send them some like instruments to play around with, send them like some footballs and like sports stuff, and send them like high end rations because you also see them like start cooking like really nice food immediately afterwards as well. And they also showed like here's the beer and here's all that stuff. That was them for like no, you guys did a damn good job. Here's your rewards. And so like, they might have actually like gone through the unit rosters like, hey, what do these guys know? Hey, some of these guys know how to play violin. Some of these guys know how to play like some other instrument, stuff like that. So they might have just been like straight up send them this stuff. It might actually like help improve morale.
Because I'm fucking just. I remember just watching the film and it was like, oh, they got their like rations and shit, and they just see this violin and the guy pick it up and start playing it. It's like, wait, hold on, the fuck? Oh, that just stuck out like real hard to me. I was like, wait, that's weird.
Yep.
I just like how everything about that movie is just so great. The one thing, like, I there's not a very good game of Starship Troopers, is there?
No, there's one game that was ever made. It's pretty.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, I think that, like,
It was a cartoon.
it felt like a Halo movie.
I wouldn't.
It felt like
I
the
wouldn't
closest-
say that. It feels more like what an Imperial Guard,
Yeah,
Before-
but
without like the religious.
yeah, but like it felt like this was a bunch of Marines, and it felt like everything I would want from a Halo movie.
Yeah, I can agree.
Where it's like
I
a
can
bunch
agree
of
with
Marines, going to a starship, and then you just progressively watch these characters get cut down.
that. Yep, I can believe
It's
that.
like, oh, okay, like this is pretty cool. And the other thing I think about this movie is that everyone in it does it right and stuff like that. I like how all of the characters are very universal. I like how, like, you can take a character and stuff like that and you can swap them out and they'll be perfectly, like, the movie will still continue going because it doesn't really matter. Mind you, there are some characters that are more important than the others.
Razak.
Yeah. But, like, it just feels, it's a good movie. It's a good movie, especially when you're coding in SQL.
The only problem I have with the movie is the fact that they're not.
Yeah.
Because that was a real big thing about it in the novel. It's like the mobile infantry are like one man is a squad of is like worth like a squad of stuff like that. And that was the really big pointer part. It's like even during like training, like they point out like how like in training, because you see it in the film where it's like you don't think you can handle, you don't think if you don't think you can keep up, if you don't think that, quick. You go sign your form. You go take a stroll out, washout lane. And, like they even point that out in the novel, where like this training like regime. Again, you see a character get killed during training. In the novel, in the book movie, that's like a really big, scary, horrible thing. Like people die during this. In the novel, that character died. I think his name is Dutch. Farm.
Yeah, the way that they kill him too is like they're like about to give him some very good things. Like they're about to do like a very lead up point where he's like, oh, like yeah, like I'm actually going to do training, and then he gets his head blown clean up, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah. But the thing is during that, in the novel, what happens is they get sent out on a wilderness survival training, where they are literally dropped from low orbit not from low orbit, like from low altitude. They're parachuted in. They're scattered around, and they have to meet up and get back to an objective point by a certain time limit, or they fail and they have to redo the test. And they straight up say, like, no, 4 people died. Dutch was one of them, and we all thought Dutch was going to go to the end. And like, it's like it's a one-off line, like, yeah, no, Dutch, because like Dutch is like just like that's the first time you hear about Dutch, and that's the last time you hear about Dutch too. It's like. Dutch in that chapter is like he's kind of like an important character. He's like, yeah, I know this is what's going on. He's kind of like the big brother to you. And then like they go off in this training, and they come. All the guys meet up, and they're like, well, we'll wait here a couple days, gather up everyone, and then go out and then head back to base. 3 guys don't show up. They go up to the forest and they find Dutch. He died he died slipping down a cliff and died there. And so what they do is they take him out, bury him out on the edge of the forest. Give him a grave, and they say, yep, no, he was a true citizen to the end.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, no. You're either good enough or you're not. Sometimes you can't, yeah.
Yeah. So. I think that movie they could redo. But.
Oh yeah,
I think that I you know what? Like we get a lot of remakes nowadays. I think that they could remake that movie and it would be fine, but I also don't know.
If Paul Verhoeven actually sat down and watched Sargon's video on it, I would be okay with that, because then it would make so many things work about that movie. Like that would be a movie I would be totally okay with the idea of. Oh god damn it, Jeff! What did you just link?
Don't read it. Read it after, and then message me the horror because I read it this morning and wrote it. Let's not talk about it.
Oh boy, I don't want to talk about that right now. But no, like the mobile, like again, you see in Starship Troopers Invasion and Trader of Mars. That's what power armor is supposed to be like for the mobile infantry. Mind you, it's missing in Invasion, where they're missing like nuke packs on their shoulders and being able to like jump jet around because they're I don't know. But again in the Marauder movie, in the movie Marauder, you get to see what their Marauder suits are like, which again is like I'm actually happy with that because like they point out like they have to get oh fuck, what are they called? Neural sockets installed into them, and apparently it's a straight up very painful process for like, any soldier selected for the process.
Is this like how like in Iron Blood Orphans they have that like a Nero process that you have to go through where basically
it's okay. You know how like Master Chief's armor is like immediately reactive to him? Yeah. It's because it has body jacks, body sockets, where it's like like basically like you know how like you have a USB port that jacks into the side, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like the same idea,
it's the
right?
same idea, but it links into your neural network. That was the point of the Marauder suits, even in the novels, because the Marauders were like heavy armor, and they weren't deployed very often because they were so ill adapted to fight the bugs, because they were a conventional warfare weapon compared to the mobile infantry, which were again conventional warfare, but each man was a squad, whereas a Marauder was supposed to be a platoon of tanks. What's a platoon of tanks going to do against 10,000 guys? Nothing. Sure, they might have all these weapons, but they're slow, they're cumbersome. They were the armored. And that's the reason why, like, even like, and again, in the novel, they point out in the Battle of Kudathu, they still suffer 10,000 casualties. But in the novel, they do note that people get captured by the bugs. Not just like captured to have their brains sucked out. No, it's like they're captured, kept alive, and stuff like that. It's actually a conventional war. It's just that the bugs is as like the most truly utilitarian process of communism. Yep. Flat out. But yeah.
I should read the books.
I could like again just go to Indigo or Chapters, and you can find a copy of it. It's actually like it's a good read. It's a bit slow, just a warning. Like it has a very slow start, but it's really good.
Because the last book I read was Ready Player One, and I felt as if it was a mediocre book.
Mediocre movie.
I thought the movie was great.
I haven't watched the movie. I've heard that I've heard like 4 or 5 different things that it's actually.
There are a few things that I think it does really well, and there's a few things I think it could do better. But I like it. I actually like it a lot more than most things. And that's because like it felt as if it was a book that was adapted for a movie, and it didn't feel as if like they were doing something just for the shits and giggles. So that's my personal opinion. Anyways,
I actually bought the DVD series of Daria.
Daria, what's that?
It's an old MTV show about a high school chick named Daria that actually got featured first in a Beavis and Butthead shows.
Yeah,
yeah. So basically Daria in Beavis and Butthead was way different than Daria in her own show. But basically, she was in the Beavis and Butthead. She was just a smart character pointing out how retarded the fucking Beavis and Butthead are. And she's like, you guys could have done this a way better way and not do this whatsoever. And Beavis and Butthead are just still retards. So they just keep exactly still do whatever the hell they're doing.
Shut the fuck up, Daria.
Pretty much.
You tell her, Venus.
So Daria, the show on MTV, is basically just a slice of life of what it's like to be a teenager in the 90s. And it's about this girl who kind of, I guess, an outsider girl, like doesn't have much, like she has friends in the show. Later on in the season, she gets like more acquainted with people that in her high school. But at the start out, it's like she's very much loner and very much like she has her tone of voice is monotone, and that's it. She doesn't have a high. She doesn't have a low. It's, oh, thank you for talking to me about this issue because I need to know what the hell is going on type of thing. And yeah, it's just a slice of life of like this girl in the 90s and trying to deal with a whole bunch of shit in high school and whatever. And it's actually pretty entertaining. And I think the show still holds up despite it being in the 90s. Like a lot of like the issues and a lot of stuff of like, oh, like the jock and like the jock character and like the nerds and like the basically any stereotypical characters you would find in a high school, they're still there. And it's like, oh, you kind of get kind of flashbacks to your own high school and go like, thank God I'm not there anymore. And
yeah. And
also another thing I want to add is I only watched one episode because I only had enough time to watch one episode. But the DVD I have doesn't have the original soundtrack the show actually had. So what you need to do is go find a link somewhere on the internet, air quotes, and download the what was it called? It's fans went out of their way and actually completely redo the series so the original music is with the show. Because it's under MTV at the time when it came out. So they had the most popular music at the time of the 90s. So they had Weezer. They had fucking, what was it? Man, I'm blanking on all the 90s songs. But they had every single, like, popular sounds because it's MTV. Of course they would have the licensing for all this shit. So they slapped it on the TV show. And they're like, yeah, it helps sell the show because, like, who knows how the internet works and all that shit. And nowadays is like, man, can we get a DVD of Daria anymore? No, because they use literally all the 90s music. Like, literally all the 90s music. Like, how many seasons was there? There's 6 seasons and I think 15 episodes or 12. So yeah. There's a lot of 90s music they clipped. Yeah. And I think per episode there's like 5 or 6. Like, that's a fuck ton.
That's a lot of things.
There's a lot of music that they clipped and just shoved in and go, yeah, that makes I hope so our show. Actually, what was the? Oh, hold on. I'm actually trying to find out what the hell is that fan made project. There we go. Daria Restoration Project. So they shoved in all of the original 90s music, like all of the original music songs in their correct spots and the correct the correct shows and also in the correct way that they're supposed to turn like if a song was supposed to start midway through or is like, oh, when this character turns on the radio is that like 10 seconds into the song or something. It's like that perfect. So it's pretty good. So I recommend Daria. Like, if you don't care for the 90s music, just get Daria DVD. You'll be fine. But if you want to get Daria for like the original, the original way it was meant to be, I think you should probably get it with the 90s music.
Yeah.
Because like with all great art, you should try to get it within the original way it's meant to be. Kind of like when you get a steak and you're like, oh, I'm gonna throw a whole bunch of barbecue sauce and all this shit on it. No, just eat the steak first and see how you like it. Do you want more salt? Then you can add more salt. But just eat the steak the way it is. Like you don't ruin it. You just eat the steak. Then you ruin it. At least enjoy it first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna nod my head and go, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, at the end of the day, I didn't really care about that show, even when it's on. But I'm also, like, a young whippersnapper compared to all you guys.
I'm fucking old. I'm old.
Compared to all you old fucks.
I'm so old.
You and Alan, you're just so old.
Yeah. I gotta know, how old is Alan? Are you like 5 years under me, or about the same age?
I'm type into chat.
Hold on. There we go.
I'm younger than you.
Yeah, figures.
Good job.
Because I could whip out some stories of like, I'm sure like I can whip out stories of like going to the grocery store with my parents, and my parents are buying all the groceries, and I'm like, well, what the fuck am I gonna do in the grocery store? Luckily, the Safeway always had that magazine section, and they always had a video game magazine, like a couple of them ripped open, so you could just flip through it and be like, yeah, what the fuck is coming up next month? Oh, this shit's cool. It's like, what the fuck's this, Metal Gear? Oh man, it's all about like military shit? Weird.
Metal Gear.
Or freaking, you go through the list of all the E3 games that got announced, supposedly coming out next year-ish, and you go, there's no way this shit's coming out. There's no way this shit's coming out.
And then it did, you're like, oh no.
Or some games you hear a little blip of, and you go, oh, I wonder where that game went. Yeah, I just got shit canned. No. Because you read the synopsis about it, and you're like, oh, that sounds really cool, and you're like, oh, that never came out. Never, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well. Although I'm kind of kicking myself for getting rid of all my old magazines. For what was it, PlayStation Monthly? It was the unofficial one that's not the actual PlayStation Monthly.
So, yeah, PlayStation Monthly was the bomb. So was Xbox Monthly. By the way, guys, have you heard an English teen gets an STD every 4 minutes?
Wow. They're fucking. They're really fucking.
There's a lot of fucking going on. Let me tell you about how much fucking there's going on.
Man, they don't
Instead of watch by this.
They don't give a shit. They just fuck. Wow.
Yeah. Also, Florida man dies in an explosion after attempting to microwave a microwave.
What?
Attempting to microwave a microwave.
A microwave.
How big was the microwave?
That's a good question to ask yourself.
And an explosion too. Like, what was in the original microwave?
I mean, clearly another microwave.
No, but yeah. I mean, like, I have to rephrase my question. It was like, what's in a microwave to make it explode that much?
Mm-hmm.
Like, frick, did he put C4 in there?
Mm-hmm.
Like, God. Florida Man is the worst superhero ever.
Florida Man is the best superhero ever. Florida
Man attacks alligator with shoe, thinking, I don't know, it's a stepmom or some shit. I don't know. I was trying to make something funny, then I was like, oh, this is trailing off horribly. Mm-hmm. Florida Man tried to make a joke and ends up getting punched by half the bar. You can just add anything to it. It's like, no, that's probably happened. Yeah. Florida Man attempts to steal painting. It gets hit by a car as he leaves building.
Wow.
like you can do anything. You can do anything.
Florida Man. Florida Man is a fucking great tale. Actually,
Florida man does whatever a Florida man can.
Flips his dick out his pants, runs away from old people. Watch out!
It's Florida man.
Florida Man jacked himself off while running away while fighting off police.
Florida man.
That
He gets
is a
hit by a
thing.
frying pan. Florida man, he gets hits with a flying pan. Swings a whip anytime, just out of his anus. Look out, here comes Florida man. Is he fast? Not at all. He gets hit with a truck.
Florida Man yells racist Senate. Florida Man yells racist terms at a restaurant. Turns out a racist terms at an entire restaurant, then gets run over. Like,
Florida man, he got hit with a.
God damn it! Stop doing that song. It's one tone. Stop.
Oh god.
Is that the name of the podcast? Florida Man?
It's gonna be Florida Man, I'm pretty sure. Or you just make up your own, like, Florida Man does blank while blanking and blank.
Florida Man.
Stop it!
Florida. Da, da, da. Oh god.
It could be worse. It could be, at least Halloween's coming around the corner soon, so we have to talk about some spookiness. Some spooks.
Depends on what kind of spooks we're going to go for.
Look, if a kid comes over, let's say a kid comes to your house wearing a Fortnite costume.
I'd be impressed, in all honesty.
I was gonna say if they can look
to my house,
if they can look like the default costume and still do the taunts perfectly, gets extra candy. Extra candy.
The kid comes. See, I'm going the opposite. If a kid comes to my house and they're doing a Fortnite costume, I'm going to look at them and say, "I'm not the villain of this story. I do what I do because there is no choice."
Actually, for me, again, if a kid comes to my house, proper Fortnite, I will applaud the kid. I will say, "Can you do the Fortnite dance?" And if they can't, I'll just nod my head and I'll go, "Okay," and I'll close the door.
The parents would be like, "You fuck."
Mm-hmm.
No, if anything, I'd be like, "Do the floss." Yeah. Okay. Now, do the fuck. What's the one with the flip and the lay down? It's the. It's called the beach. I forget. I feel like start naming out all the taunts is like, okay, great. See if you can do these more complicated ones, little shit.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, what makes it really funny for me. Oh god damn it, Jeff! When it's Halloween, you finish beating up every single kid wearing a Fortnite costume. Oh god, that's great. Not even
mad. I got another one that's actually going to trigger you.
But no. Okay, let's see this one.
Do Marine Chad
Virgin Defender of the Imperium. Lugger demon gets executed 1984 stop policy.
Yep. Afraid of innovation. Artificial swole.
Funny thing is, I would love to cosplay as, or not cosplay, but like just go in a costume as Chad, because I do have the sweatpants that character's wearing.
Yeah, what makes it even funnier for me is the fact that I have the way to build the 40k Space Marine armor out of foam.
You should do that.
I want to really badly and do an Imperial Fist, but the thing is,
all of her fisting needs,
the Imperial Fist colors is just bright red or bright yellow with red trim and green eyes, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I should do that. I feel like I would hurt a lot of people by doing that.
How would
by doing what?
Dressing up as an Imperial Fist.
What's the worst that could happen, Alan?
I start a civil war.
How would you start a civil war by being an
see,
Imperial
you
Fist?
just look like a giant, bright traffic cone, and no one would hit you. You're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be an angry Marine for Halloween, okay?
I don't want to be an angry Marine.
Yeah, but everyone wants to be an angry Marine.
I don't.
Even for...
I don't like the angry Marines. They're fucking boring. You heard me say it.
I did.
I actually really do find them pretty boring.
I like the idea. I kind of want to make, like I said, angry Marine feminists or the Anger Sisters of Battle as angry Marines.
Oh God.
I think that would be funny.
Oh boy.
Not for playing, just for like having. I would probably just go Chaos because Chaos is best Chaos.
No, they're not.
I just think of like
I like Chaos.
The stupid console wars, Spaz Kids, like the feminists versus the white knights. Fucking, you know that video. That stupid video. Any other shit to talk about?
I don't really have anything else to talk about now.
Dang.
I'm pretty much ready to go to bed now.
Yeah.
Bedtime cast.
All right. So,
okay, everyone get to bed.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Black Mind Podcast. Hopefully, I've remembered to edit this one this time.
Oh, did you fuck? Is that how you fucked up last week's?
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
I didn't even download the episode until, like, Tuesday night. Normally, or, like, Wednesday night. And normally, like, by the time Wednesday night rolls around, the podcast is already edited. It's probably sitting up on the Podbean. So... and then it's ready to go. So hopefully this episode goes up on time. Thank you for listening to Black Bike Podcast. My name is Jeff. Joining me this week was Alan and Josh. You can listen to us every Thursday on the blackbikegames.podbean.com, unless I forget to post it. And you can listen to us on any of your podcasts of choice.
All right.
Good night, guys.
Good night. Bye.
Good night.
It's pretty much it's pretty damn, like, it's not fascism, but it's like pretty fucking close to like, it rides that line where it's like if you're not... No, Alan, let me finish my point, please. Because I watched the same video that you did, and it's like they really do play up the fact that, like, it's like, oh, it's an authoritarian dictatorship and stuff like that, and it's like no, it's not. It's really not. It seems like it looks like that on the outside and stuff like that. Like, if you have no, like, if you look at it, it looks like it.
It looks fast.
Yeah, it looks very very
Until
fascist.
you stop and watch.
I would have been more interested. I would be more interested in series exploring stuff outside of the military.
Well, that's the thing in the novel, because, like, as I said, I've read the novel, I've watched stuff like that. Don't watch number 2 if you're going to watch the series. It's actually the worst ever.
I'm recording. If you're not recording, hit record.
I'm a recorder. But the thing is like...
Do we have no topic list other than Starship Troopers?
I'm about to talk. Just mumble about Starship Troopers.
Oh, fuck. I wanted to play a video game I installed yesterday and forgot about it. Shit!
Don't worry. I don't really, like, do anything at all.
Basically, my life has been basically revolving around programming, crying, and learning about shader graphs. Let me tell you how much SQL sucks. SQL sucks.
And
That's about it.
oh,
I don't like SQL.
sucks.
Database is hard.
Yep.
yeah. It's yeah. I mean, I haven't.
This is the thing that got Josh out of programming. Convenient.
Actually, the thing that got me super hardcore out of programming was before I tried game development, I tried to do computer systems technology, and
oh, you tried to do system admin?
I failed like halfway point of first semester. I could not do it.
So I'm in system foundations right now. And let me tell you the average of this test that we just had, which was worth 17% of our grade. The test we got about, how should I put this? I got a 58 initially. Now it's a 61. Okay. The average was 62.
That's pretty hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So like the entire week, like I was sitting there being like, I failed. I fucking failed. And like I've been doing like amazing in programming. So it's like, okay, like I'm doing okay in programming. Like I'm okay with this. I can deal with this. If I fail database, I'll just take a summer course or something like that. But buck up and do that. And so like I'm sitting there being like, okay, like I'm okay with this. I can deal with this. And now it's like, man, I really can't deal with this. Like, if I fail this class, I'm gonna be like super upset. I'm gonna be bummed out, man. And like that was a class where literally like, I drove my car into school. And normally like I'm super peppy, I'm happy and stuff like that. I was like driving my Honda, so it's like, okay, I got my Honda all sorted out and everything's fine. And then what happened was my dad, like I took the test, I literally had no energy. I walked outside the room, talked to three of my classmates who are all really good dudes, and I all really appreciate them. Like we put it like this, like one of the reasons why I got out of Nate was because of how much I disliked every one of my classmates.
That's fair.
Everyone.
Allan had capstone with a few of them. I got called a racist by a few of those people, and fuck them. Like, Jesus Christ. But
I want to say I had a conversation with them, but I don't think I ever went far as, you like Thing? Yeah, I like Thing. I like Thing too. That's good.
I see. This is something that I wish, like, I would have done. Is I wish I could have coerced Anthony to come to St. Albert or Edmonton for like 2 weeks. Anthony's like a chipper man, just so that way then I could have Anthony come in, and then when they're like, who the hell are you? I'll be like, he's my friend. And then I look at him and I say, you say anything to him and I'll take it as an offense. And if you say anything to him and I get offended, I won't just rip your soul out and shove it down the deepest, darkest pits of hell. I'll shove it down Lucifer's fucking throat, and then I'll rip it out of his ass and put it back in your fucking body, and then I'll fucking punch you in the fucking face until you're fucking bleeding Satan's shit out your nose. You got that, punk? Does that sound aggressive? I hope it does.
There. Like, nice.
Sup, Goblin Slayer.
You goblins.
No, Goblin just goes, I only kill goblins. It is cheese.
Actually, for that show, there's different races, right? Like,
yes.
Okay. Because
they have high elves.
Yeah, they have all the high elf shit. Is there orcs in there too?
We don't know yet.
Lizard men.
We don't know yet.
Okay.
As of right now, we've seen ogres, goblins, beholders, elves, dwarves, humans. They've suggested that there are kobolds in the world, dragons, demons, and stuff like that. But we don't know about orcs yet.
There's a massive demon army going to the main capital city because when you walk away, you don't hear me say please. Oh baby.
Simple.
Yeah. I've been playing a lot more Destiny, or not Destiny. I did stuff. So do you want to sync and then we can do the episode, and then when people bitch about like how short our episode is, we can be like, suck it, bitch.
All right, let's do it.
For the best. Okay, sync in 3, 2, 1.
Sync.
I did that poorly, but
Yeah,
you want to do it again?
You did the small, like you did that sync. Oh shit, this is right. This is the podcast.
Sync in 3, 2, 1.